Hello and welcome to InSight, CCTV's talk show introducing you to area nonprofits. I'm Wendy Brokaw.
And I'm Louise VanNatta.
Our focus today is disaster preparedness. Now be honest with yourself. Do you think if there was an emergency where you live or in your own home, you would be fully prepared? We weren't sure, so we thought we would invite people from the American Red Cross to talk about it. I'd like to introduce you to our guests, Susan Thompson and Carol Mitchell. We're going to learn a lot today. Let's begin.
Hi, ladies. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
So, what kind of disasters would we find in our area where we might need to have an emergency kit?
Well, to start off, we would have either think of floods, think of windstorms like we had in the 60s this month, fires, and also earthquakes.
Sure.
A simple power outage can be an emergency. If you're stuck at home in an ice storm, you can't get out. What do you have at home that you're going to be able to use?
Right, and if you have no other heat source, you're going to probably not be able to stay in your house if that's for some of those people
right.
Months on it. They're months of no power, so that's true. So what would I need to have? And certainly, I think Wendy, what does Wendy need to have?
Well, I know one thing, and that is they always say, the Red Cross always says, get a kit, get a plan.
That's very true. Get a kit first. And what we've done here today, we brought some of the things you might want to have in a kit. We call it a go kit. In your go kit, you should have things that can hopefully help you survive for approximately 3 days. And they include food and water and various tools, some of which we have on the table here. And also, one of the things that I like to emphasize is you ought to also have ID, your prescriptions, at least some of the medications you might need that you might not be able to get if you had to evacuate. And also, did I say money? Folding green is also good because you have the possibility that ATMs won't be open, banks might not be open, and you can't get money, but you might need it. Also, I was telling this just a few minutes ago that one of the things I've done, and I think is a wise idea also, is to get a thumb drive or a flash drive and download important files from your computer system, because your computers may go out, may be burned up or destroyed, and some of that information is extremely important to have. So those things I like to have in my Go Kit. I also would like to show you this particular thing. This is a wind-up radio. As you can see, it's a NOAA radio. It winds up so it doesn't actually need a battery, and it also is a flashlight. These things can be purchased from the Red Cross, but they can also be purchased here in town locally. They come in various styles and whatnot, but you want to look for the NOAA and the grind-up handle. And you have your children or someone sit there for hours and grind this up, and it will work. It gives them something to do.
For how long do they last? From winding
I'm not sure. They just sort of last, and then you have to keep grinding them. You get the kids going on that. And
well, I like that.
We advise people to stay informed because of shifting weather conditions. You might want to tune in to find out where there's a shelter in your neighborhood. The Red Cross works with other emergency agencies to improvise shelters depending on the need and where the location is. For example, the library is an emergency shelter for flooding or heat or cold, so you need this information, and you need to keep current on that.
I like the fact that that's in a backpack, because that looks like something that is easy to hang on a door in the garage or something, and then slip it on real fast and
that gives you peace of mind right there, knowing that everything you need can make a quick getaway if you need it.
It does. Another thing that you need are closed-toed shoes.
Oh, an extra pair in the bag. That
exactly, and gloves that are tough enough to, those aren't as tough as you would want, tough enough to really be able to work with broken glass, falling timbers, falling pieces of your house, things that you might need to pick up or use, or use.
Well, I like this tool that you have here.
What is that?
I've never seen that before.
I'll let Carol describe that because she's very good at this.
This is considered a 4-in-1 tool or an emergency utility shut-off. You can use this to shut off the gas only in an emergency because it will take a professional to turn the gas back on. But you can also shut off water if you have flooding. You can use this to pry through debris or pry doors open. It's lightweight. It's probably less than $10 online or area hardware stores.
And speaking of water, don't forget you need 1 gallon of water per day per person that you have in your family or that you're evacuating with. So that's something to keep in mind. This happens to be purified water in a little packet. This would not be enough, but this is representative of water to remind Carol and me when we do this that you need water. Don't forget that formula. Also, this this first aid kit in your car, in your home, in your office, and in
Oh, I see. It just kind of opens up like that.
It opens out.
yes,
Look at all these things.
this
That's
particular one
you need.
is you can get online at the Red Cross website. You can also go into various publications that the Red Cross has produced, which look something like this. There's a list of what you'd need in your own first aid kit. You can build it yourself by going to any of the stores around here and putting one together.
What about babies and pets?
Babies and pets and seniors,
seniors?
or disabled people are a special group. Sue mentioned some of the critical things you should have, like a copy of your prescription and some of your actual pills. Don't forget your pets. I have an older dog who does take a prescription daily, so in her little kit, there's a copy of her prescription, some of her pills, food for her, and Sue mentioned identification, which is a crucial issue. For her, I've laminated her record that shows all of her shots, her microchip number. I have her county dog tag number on there. We saw lots and lots of pets get separated in Hurricane Katrina and Rita. A lot of trouble people being reunited. If you have your animal microchipped, any vet or humane shelter can scan that and find the pet's information. So her rabies vaccine and her other information is all scanned and laminated in her to-go kit.
And probably some extra water too, because
Absolutely, pets
they will
need
water
water.
that they're accustomed to drinking.
And if you have special needs like glasses
sure.
or hearing aids or other special needs, having a spare pair, a spare battery, and a copy of your prescription.
And
in
an
case
inhaler.
And an inhaler is a very good example. And for kids, special medications or baby food and diapers.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And there's another thing I'd like to just bring up very fast. This is a little, what's used to be called a space blanket. They're not terribly expensive. This will, hypothermia is a very grave danger in many kinds of evacuations. This little thing, you see how small it is, can fit in your glove box, can fit in here, can be in your kitchen drawer. Have a number of these around. If you have to evacuate, this will, you put it over your coat or whatever, it will keep you warm and prevent hypothermia. And it's very small and very useful and very inexpensive.
And very useful to have in your car, regardless of a disaster. If you are stuck somewhere in the mountains or a snowdrift, a little extra food, water, and your space blanket would be a lot of comfort to you.
It could make the difference between life and death.
Absolutely.
Wow. Well,
How can we find out more about all of this, because it's so much more detailed, and I think you have information on your website.
We do, and the website is
redcross.org, and go to /prepare. That will show you kits for families, home, school, office, pets, and special populations like seniors or the disabled.
That's wonderful.
Well,
we've learned a lot today. I've got a lot of work to do.
I was going to say, and then getting a plan so that your family knows about that plan. There's information on your website about that.
Absolutely, and we'd also like to remind everybody, it's nice to have a plan, but a plan is no good unless you practice the plan. So practice the plan.
How often do you practice a plan, just to make sure that it's current?
I would recommend at least every 6 months, but that's just me. And if you change the plan, if something changes, then you want to make sure everyone knows there's a change and has practiced it.
And have an emergency out-of-area contact. And have that handy. And if your kids go to school, they know to call Aunt Susie if they get stranded somewhere.
Wonderful. Well, okay, so I've got it. It's redcross.org.
Redcross.org.
Right? And then I can get lots of resources. And
/prepare.
if I want to get that kit together, I do prepare. That's great.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today on InSight. It's been invaluable, and it could be just perfect for what we need for any disaster, and to feel the comfort of knowing we are prepared.
Well, thank you for having us. The
Thank
Red
you.
Cross tries very hard to get this word out to everyone, and we appreciate the opportunity.
loved it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us today on InSight.
What?